Gold miners were secretive by nature, telling few tales and keeping their secrets close to their chest. But one miner, Alphonse Barrington, kept a journal, and it reveals a tale of hardship and heroism that ranks alongside the world's greatest survival epics. It started in early summer of 1863 in Queenstown, and it ended 173 days later on the shores of Lake Wakatipu. 3 men stumbled out of the bush, living skeletons, their bones poking through their skin. In the early 1860s, Otago thrummed with gold fever. As thousands of fortune seekers worked their claims in boom towns like Gabriel's Gully and Arthur's Point on the Shotover River, a very few, made good money, but most eked out only a meagre existence. Alphonse Barrington was one of them. Although there are no surviving photographs of him, he was well known as a strong, hard-working prospector. It's likely he was Canadian by birth, and he'd spent 10 years working the gold and silver mines in Australia before landing in Otago, aged about 30. After 9 months prospecting on the Shotover River, and not a shilling to show for it, Barrington was ready to take a few risks. So in November 1863, he and 2 mates headed off into the unknown. The trio left the Dart River at the head of Lake Wakatipu and crossed the Southern Alps into the fierce river country between the mountains and the west coast. They found gold, but facing starvation and winter's onslaught, were forced to retreat. They tried what they hoped was a shortcut straight back to Wakatipu. Instead, it led to an alpine wilderness that all but claimed their lives. Unlike other pioneer Pākehā explorers, Barrington and his 2 mates, William Bayliss and Edward Dunmore, had no Maori guides. Sure, there was a greenstone trail from Otago to the Maori settlements of the southwestern coast, but Barrington wouldn't have had a clue where they were. They were on their own. They were heading into country where the rivers could come up 5 metres overnight, where the wind could blow down ice and snow at any time of the year, and where there was no easy food to be had. They were strangers in a strange land, and they had no inkling of what was to come. To be fair, I don't either, really. The Rootburn Track is one of DOC's best maintained walks. It's known as a Great Walk, and it's like a highway, a sort of Queen Street for trampers. It's easy going, nice level ground and maintained beautifully. I expect it will get a little gnarlier later on, but at the moment, it's just charming and dead easy.
December 29th. We got up about 8 miles and camped on a little flat with fine long grass where we got 4 Maori hens, we having a good dog with us.
Today, on that very flat, is Doc's Rootburn Flats hut, the last outpost of civilization for me before I head right off the beaten track into Barrington country. What unknown affinity lies between mountain and sea, in country crumpled like an unmade bed, whose crumbs may be nuggets as big as your head?
and it's all snow-sheeted but storm cloud-fed. Far behind is the blue Pacific and the Tasman somewhere ahead. Wet or dry, low or high, somewhere in a blanket fold of the land lies the Golden Strand. Dennis Glover from Arrowater Bill. So tomorrow, when I wake up, I'm going to go and play in the blanket fold of the land. In the rain.
And now, we are three. My guides for this adventure are Jeff Spearpoint, who edits Moyer's Guide North, the Bible for tramping and climbing in this area, and Kim Logan, an alpine guide and mountaineer who's led expeditions to Mount Everest.
It's just the sort of crappy weather that Barrington would have had.
Right. It nearly killed him, didn't it?
No, we'll be right.
Immediately, they take me off the main Rootburn track towards the Southern Alps.
Well, this is a good view, Peter. Oh, it looks fantastic.
That's amazing, eh?
Well, there's tourists, very few tourists come up here, probably just a few from the Rootburn Flats Hut, and other than that, it's for those people who want to get into the Barrington country.
Why am I laughing?
We're going to be in knee-deep snow up there, mate.
Great. Knee-deep snow.
Wet feet, yay.
All right. We'll be
Away.
going. Okay.
We're heading up to this icy saddle, North Col. The weather for Barrington here was wet and freezing, but it eventually cleared up. I certainly hope it does for us. This country is just sheer, incredibly hard, brazen rock, just standing up like ramparts against the weather. It's amazing. I just don't feel up to the challenge, really. I feel very puny.
December 30. Started by sunrise for a heavy day's march, wending our way up the Backbone Range over a low saddle, walking over from 1 to 40 feet of snow.
The sheer size and vigor of this place beggars belief. And a lot of the time I just plod along with not much to say. I don't have anything to say. It just overwhelms me, and I just sort of find myself retreating inside quite a lot, letting it wash. This is really steep. Well, steeper than it looks, anyway. It is. Ooh, now that's steep.
Wow.
Pretty right, eh?
That's excellent, isn't it?
This is the main divide right here. Yep. Then you've got Barrington Peak.
So named after the guys that came over.
Yep. If I remember rightly, by mountaineers in the 30s and 40s.
Mm-hmm. I must have heard about the adventures.
Oh yeah, they knew all about it. Yeah, you bet. And they were as impressed with it as I was.
Guys ready to go?
Yep, go.
Started over the other side, down precipices fearful to contemplate. Life in jeopardy every 5 minutes. We all said we would not come down the same track again for £20.